it's been. I saw it at the Toronto Film Festival last September, and someone came afterwards. Someone came out of the screening and said, described it as a caffeine overdosed dark comedy, and that's about what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you very much for coming to this premiere, which is all in aid of the Tricycles shows and their education projects. So it's wonderful that you're here and contributing, and I hope you enjoy this dark, black, caffeine-filled ride. And I think it's very funny. I think you'll enjoy it. None of the other guys are able to be here, so I welcome you.
Enjoy. Jim Broadbent, the Oscar-winning actor, BAFTA award-winning actor, Golden Globe award-winning actor. Congratulations. One thing I've got to ask you, and I'm sure some of the people who've watched the film tonight want to know, what was in that Nescafe jar that you had?
That was ground up bourbon biscuits. Which isn't pleasant in itself, but you've got to do it as much as I had to do it. It's better than Nescafe.
Yes, how many takes?
Oh, there was quite a lot. I mean, there were different scenes where he was imbibing. So yeah, it was enough.
So how did you get to do the film? Did Ian Fitzgibbon send you the script, or how did it come about?
Yeah, I think the script came and Killian was already attached, and I had lunch with the two of them, and we got on, and they were, and it was an opera, and it was irresistible in spite of the fact that it was not obvious casting, but I love the character so much.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why the film works, because it takes you think it's going one way, but it goes another way, and it goes in a much more interesting way than you thought it was going to go. And in point of fact, you're Jim McFrey. I mean, it's a gun-toting, sort of cursing, cocaine snorting, sort of. Yeah,
not in the normal cocaine gun-toting, cocaine sniffing guy, though, is he? This is sort of accidental.
But you're a bit of a fan of US crime thrillers, and I was wondering as I was watching the film whether sort of your interest in those sort of genre of novels sort of informed your performance.
Yeah, I think so. It probably did, really. I hadn't thought about it, but I was a great fan of James Elroy, Elmore Leonard, and James Lee Burke, and a lot of those guys. And I think when I was a student or a young actor or just starting, my ambition was to be Gene Hackman. Popeye Doyle particularly. Or just be one of the villains in a scene with Popeye Doyle, with Gene Hackman. So this is as close as I've got, I think. Actually, get a gun and say, freeze, motherfuckers. not come my way a lot.
Was all the dialogue on the page in the script, or was there sort of a bit of
Yes, absolutely all on the page. He's a delicious writer, Marco Rowe. It's all there, and there were. Brendan Gleeson was saying there's one moment when they come out of the snooker hall,
yes,
and there was sort of lacking a line there, and then said they phoned Mark and told him the situation, and he immediately came back 3 minutes later with a line of perhaps out of all this tragedy we can gain some small salvation. Whatever it was, it was just the perfect line. At least they got the cocaine and to take the sting out of the tragedy just before them. But no, he's a wonderful writer. Obviously he knows his Dublin vernacular inside out. It's a rich piece of writing. I love it.
It's a beautiful piece of writing, and also a touch of the sort of Tarantino in it. I think a bit of Martin McDonagh, don't you think?
Yeah, there's all that certainly. A bit of Martin McDonagh, but I think that the humour is quite special and specific. Really, I think. There's all the violence. Most of it, probably more of it's implied than is actually. You don't see the dogs actually ripping Perrier about, and you don't see the Morris Joyce actually happen. But the threat of it is there, and it's always sort of made a little bit better by the jokes that are attached.
But what about your sort of your gum slapping and?
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? The big heavy gun, I was just worried I was sort of going to misjudge it and hit someone.
You were talking about sort of wanting to sort of almost be Gene Hackman, but have you ever worked with sort of many Hollywood stars? I know you've worked with Renee Zellweger over here in Bridget Jones and Nicole Kidman, which you did Moulin Rouge with her in Australia.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you get many offers to work in Hollywood?
Well, not actually in Hollywood. I mean, like Gangs in New York we did in Rome, and Moulin Rouge was done in Sydney, and sort of actual Hollywood movies, I suppose, American funded movies, quite a few. But when people say, are you living in this country? And of course I am. I've spent about 3 weeks working in America in the last 10 years.
It's very true, because when I do go over to the States, I talk to your agent who goes back occasionally, and he always tells me that people want to work with you, but you resist working in Hollywood. Why is that?
Well, I generally just like doing work that I understand and reflects a culture that I've got some sort of sympathy with and understanding of how it works. I mean, pushing it a bit, going for Ireland, but at least I know a bit more about how that works. I mean, any job in British Isles, I think, well, I've got some feeling for how these people tick, but in America I'm a bit puzzled about what drives them and what makes them work.
It's the money, honey.
Yeah.